afternoon with the sun casting golden rays over the hills when a boy named Arin began his journey back home. Life in the village was simple, and Arin, being a curious and kind-hearted 12-year-old, loved exploring the wilderness around his home. But nothing could have prepared him for what he would find that day. As he walked along a winding forest path, something rustled in the trees above. Startled, he froze, his heart racing. He looked up just in time to see a small bear cub clumsily climbing down from the branches. At first, Arin stepped back, unsure of what to do. But the cub, small, scruffy, and oddly fearless, stood there in the middle of the path, looking straight at him with wide, curious eyes. Arin thought about running. After all, bears were dangerous, weren't they? But something about this cub was different. It didn't growl, didn't seem afraid. Instead, it tilted its head, as if trying to understand him. And then, to Arin's surprise, it took a few wobbly steps toward him, letting out a soft, almost pleading sound. "Are you lost?" Arin whispered, half laughing at himself for talking to an animal. But the cub seemed to respond, following him step by step as he cautiously began walking again. By the time Arin reached the edge of the village, the little bear was still at his heels. It was clear to him now. This cub was alone. No mother bear in sight. Arin's heart ached for the tiny creature. He couldn't leave it behind, not after it had followed him so far. That night, as Arin snuffed the cub into the small barn behind his house, he knew he was making a decision that would change everything. The next morning, when the villagers found out, there was uproar. "Arin, are you out of your mind?" One elder exclaimed. "Bears are wild animals. It'll grow up and attack us all." But Arin refused to back down. "She's just a baby," he insisted. "She's lost and scared. I'll take care of her. She's not like other bears." And Arin was right. The little bear, whom he named Kaya, wasn't like any other bear. From the very beginning, she seemed almost human in her understanding. She learned quickly, responding to Arin's words and gestures as though she could truly understand him. Days turned into weeks, and Kaya became a part of the village. At first, people were wary, keeping their distance. But Kaya's gentle nature slowly won them over. Children played with her, laughing as she carefully nudged a ball back to them with her enormous paws. She became a guardian for the little ones, walking them to and from school, always watching to make sure they were safe. One unforgettable day, when a sudden storm rolled in and a child was caught in the rising river, it was Kaya who sprang into action. Without hesitation, she plunged into the rushing water, her massive strength saving the child from certain disaster. From that moment on, there was no doubt. Kaya wasn't just a bear. She was a protector, a friend, and a hero. News of Kaya spread far and wide. Tourists began flocking to the village, eager to meet the extraordinary bear who seemed to blur the line between animal and human. She brought new life and prosperity to the village, drawing attention to its culture and traditions. But for Arin, Kaya was much more than a symbol. She was family. There were challenges, of course. As Kaya grew larger, so did the responsibilities of caring for her. But the villagers, once skeptical, now rallied around Arin and Kaya, treating the bear as one of their own. Looking back, Arin often wondered how different his life would have been if he hadn't stopped on that path, if he hadn't chosen to trust the little cub who trusted him first. Kaya didn't just change his life, she changed the lives of everyone around her. She taught them that love, trust, and compassion could overcome even the deepest fears. As Kaya's story became known, it inspired countless people to see the world with kinder eyes and to embrace the unexpected gifts that life can bring.